2, 1. Now live.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
And wow, it's Tuesday. Good morning, everyone. We're working to get things put together this morning in our Zoom broadcast. I'm Jay Pagluca. Bob Plass will be with us shortly, and Pete Coles is on the other side of the board. Good morning, Mr. Coles.
Good morning.
Yeah.
I'm working on getting Bob up. Hold on.
I know you are.
I'm in his computer right now. He's looking at me like, what the heck?
Well, you know, I mean, it's your own fault. You sent him two different links.
That's true.
Which meant he has to make a choice. And you know Bob is never going to make the right choice.
That's true.
Good morning, Bob. I know you know we're talking about you.
So he's coming in now.
And there he is.
Can you hear us, Bob?
Hello, Bob.
You should be able to hear us. Can you hear us?
You better see if his microphone is on and his speaker is on.
There we go.
There he is. No. Well, you gave him a microphone on a stick and everything.
There we go. How about now?
You gave, yeah. Can you hear us now, Bob?
I can hear you perfectly.
Good morning.
And he sounds better, too.
Good morning. Did you do the wow, it's Tuesday, May 5th?
There's no way that I could have done it better than you, Bob, so why don't you go ahead and do it again?
All right. Wow, it's Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. And hi, I'm your host, Bob Plass, and I am here in the sumptuous living room of my house over here at West Silver Street. And to my left is the trusty, dusty, crusty sidekick.
There it is.
Well modulated. There you are. Yes, and in the little box there. All right. There he is. Oh, yeah, you got it. That's Pete Coles, who is the I thought about this at 3 o'clock last night. Okay. Marches, madcap maker of microphones. No.
Merriment.
It was another word beginning with M.
Merriment?
No, it was a person that does something.
Mud
The
pies?
madcap mixer of mics. The madcap mixer of mics.
Okay. You're the main mixer, the mix master. Yeah, never
That's
mind.
exactly right.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can go with that. Hey,
I'm-
before you go anywhere, just a moment. To those of you that like to tune in early and listen to what's on just before we're on, so that you hear the good stuff. Well, I got to thank Pete Coles for playing an old Chicago song called "The Beginnings." It's one of my favorite Chicago songs. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young were a group from the 60s and 70s that brought out my love for harmony in rock and roll. And Chicago did the same thing for horns. Yeah. They mastered the art of putting brass instruments into rock and roll in the 60s and 70s. So, but thank you for that. That was kind of fun.
It's lovely. That's lovely. Yes, Chicago was one of my favorite bands. You traveled with Chicago or something, didn't you? You had something.
We had Chicago here well, not Chicago, but a great Chicago tribute band out of Rhode Island. We had brought in for a benefit for the police association here. So,
that's right.
The police auxiliary, the guys that enable us to do all of those great things outdoors on the green and all of those events that I know will come back sometime. I have a plan, by the way. I have a plan.
You have a plan?
We're formulating this. It's not all together yet, but I have a plan. So we'll talk about this after.
You mean to bring people together safely on the green?
Yes. I have a plan.
Gosh, could you call Washington right now? I think a lot of governors are having a lot of problems with that, or maybe opening too soon. Well,
we had a business meeting on how to do that, and I've got to. It's worth just saying briefly. Obviously, businesses want to be open. People want businesses to be open, but unless the public is comfortable coming out and going to those businesses, it's going to be a lot of open businesses spending money to have an empty shop there, or an empty restaurant, or we'll put music on the green, but nobody will come and see us. People have to feel comfortable that they're going to minimize. You're never going to eliminate a risk every day of everything. But how can
you take a risk every time you leave your house?
Yeah,
I take a risk every time I wake up in the morning.
So how can we assure people that their risk is minimized? I think masks is number one. And somebody I can't remember who came out and said it. It says, mask doesn't protect me. It protects people from me, which,
that's right.
And that's probably the best description and the best way to get people to. Because I could be running around with the virus, and
it's going to look like Tokyo around here.
Well, so what? I think we ought to have designer masks. I think it's already starting. People are doing that. They're sewing their own custom masks. It's okay. What's going to look cool? And that's going to be the thing. Kids are going to go back to school, and it's not going to be what sneakers you got on. It's going to be who has the cool mask.
But you understand this? Do people understand the psychological effects of that?
If you took a picture of your face, you could actually
don't do
bottom,
that.
Huh?
Don't do that.
No, I don't want to take a picture of your face. No, I want to take a picture of my face. But if you did that and you photoshopped it on the bottom, then you could get your complete. You wouldn't talk or anything, but that's an idea.
Well, I could do that. I could do this whole show with a mask on and have a recording running.
Yeah, but do you know the psychological effects of that?
What?
Of wearing a mask all the time?
What?
People can't see you smile or frown or anything else. All the social cues that we have will be lost if everybody wears a mask.
Not all of them.
But Peter, I also think that if you look at somebody straight in the eyes.
There you go. Bob's got it.
Not everybody can do that, Bob. Not everybody's adept as you are.
All right.
And plus, when we look in your eyes, Bob, when we look in your eyes, we volunteer for something. You know that to be true.
Yes. Yeah. My eyes are like Jim Quinn, who is going to be on the show in the second half of my show. Jim Quinn is my oldest friend from college. And 57 years ago, we knew one another. We still know one another. We hang out and all that sort of stuff. But he once described my eyes as a stamp machine. The little slits that the stamps used to come out of, remember that the stamps come out of here, put the money in here.
I had to go way back to my early days to remember what a stamp machine was, but okay, now I get it. Yeah.
So these little slits of eyes. So, they'll open up a little more as the program goes on, but I don't know, Peter. I think that we could all be trained in maybe we have
trained.
this.
That's a problem, though.
No, you'll learn.
I don't know.
Bob,
I don't
Bob,
buy into any of this. I'm sorry. I'm going to be contrarian to both of you guys.
Now, Bob, you said it right.
I think there's too much hype and too little meat and potatoes behind it.
There's something in people's eyes. You can read. You can tell if
how about
someone
the
is
eyebrows?
smiling. Yeah, whether they're smiling, whether they're frowning, whether they're angry. You can see that in someone's eyes. Those are the three.
Well,
main,
on the eyebrows too, Jay.
yeah,
the
right.
eyebrows.
Yeah,
You can-
the eyebrows raise, and you go, "Oh, there's a question," or you're surprised.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow! It is Tuesday. And
That's a
then
surprise
the eyes
comment.
Open up.
Yes, exactly. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
And why,
I,
by the way,
but you
why
gotta-
do you
now,
call
wait a
this?
minute.
Why do you call this wow?
Westfield on Weekend Show.
See, we say that so often we forget.
Yeah,
So-
I forgot to do this. Oh my God, what's happening here? Peter is
That's
doing
me. Yes, I'm adjusting your audio a little bit, Bob.
He's making you
Thank
brighter.
Yeah, this is so great. Don't you think that?
Don't you have a remote service tech?
Yeah, I have a remote service tech who's got. And I had a problem with my machine earlier in the week, and I said, I'll call my techie, and Peter fixed it right away. And in fact, there was one day I was sitting reading.
Oh, you forgot
And all
to.
of a sudden, a voice from my computer said, "Where are you?" It was Peter on my computer.
That's because we were supposed to test, and Bob goes, "I'll be there in 2 minutes."
Yeah.
15 minutes later, I'm sitting here waiting to go home,
Oh God! No.
and Bob's like, "Nothing, crickets." I'm like, "Where the heck?" So I said, "Screw this! I'm remoting it to his computer and turning it on and testing myself."
And he's hearing the ghost in the machine
Also-
going, "Bob."
Yeah, that's
Bob.
exactly what I was doing.
Oh, that's exactly right. And I thought to myself, the machine is talking to me.
I'm like, you know what?
Already? This is the new iteration of Windows 14 or 15, whatever the hell it is.
It's-
All I know is I could
Get
test.
out of bed, you. Never mind.
All I knew is I could test it without Bob, so I just remoted it and tested it without Bob.
Now, it
Yeah.
should be noted that even with all the technology, with all of the ability to remote into someone else's computer and fix most everything, every now and then you have to go out and mount like a microphone, for instance, to a table so that you can make it work. And where I'm going with this is it's been 6 years, and
Yes.
Pete has never been to Bob's house until now.
this week.
Yes. You've
Friday,
been there.
Peter arrived around. There was the sunshine came into the window at around 1:30 in the afternoon.
He came in through the
Yeah.
bathroom
Yeah.
window. Oh,
So
no,
get
that
this.
wasn't right.
So we've got this new person who hasn't seen their house. So I go around and I pick up everything. I mean, you know how, really. I'm cleaning. I'm getting everything set. I might have even changed something.
Your
Instead,
underwear?
This looks better here or that.
Sorry.
Okay. So I greet Peter at the door. First, he looks like Hannibal Lecter. He's got this mask that looks like Hannibal Lecter. All right. And he comes to the door, and I go, "Peter, welcome," et cetera, and I'm thinking there's going to be, like it was the Epiphany or the Easter Sunday morning or something. Well, he said, "Hi, where is it?" or something like that. And we went immediately to right here into the.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You showed me a few things before that,
Yeah,
Oh, I
there's no
did.
way.
but
you
I had
were
a
gonna-
short time frame. I had to be back in like half an hour for a conference call. So
There's no
Yeah,
way you were
yeah.
going to let him into that house without the master tour.
I didn't get the
I was
master
going
tour.
to-
I didn't have
trying to
time.
give him a tour, and he was
Oh.
acting as if he was entering Chernobyl, getting right to the place. This is exactly what was happening, and So then he got into the living room, and Frankie came, and because Frankie came to him, while he was doing the computer, Frankie was next to him, and of course, being a dog lover, Peter is playing with Frankie, and I'm thinking, yeah, but this is when I was going to take you upstairs and show you the fireplace on the second floor, and now I'm going to take you into the dining room, and then come on in and see my corner toilet, But No.
There
Peter
are,
was-
for the record, there are very exciting things in Bob's house. So.
Yeah. Really? Come
Well,
on. What's the
if I didn't have to be back so quickly for a conference call, then I would have stayed. I would have stayed for the entire afternoon, but I had a 1:00 conference call about the future of the World Series. So
I'm glad I didn't get my tea set out.
Yeah. Well, if
Go.
you get tea and crumpets, and perhaps if it's a long time you stay, you get wine.
Yeah.
and it was
So-
James was nonplussed that I was there.
Nonplussed.
Yeah.
Well, James is nonplussed about a lot of things.
Oh.
Really.
What
We had a,
what have you guys been doing over there? I mean, you're really sheltered in the place.
Yeah, you definitely there.
And I see a note here that someone's been painting.
Oh gosh, well, we talked about it last week where that I've been watching paint dry.
Painting the house. I thought you like painting pictures and stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Oh, you mean like oil painting?
Yeah, well,
Like
you could have.
I'm posing for him something and he's doing a
Well, I
sketch
wouldn't
for
go
me?
that far, but it could happen.
Yeah, in somebody else's universe. But no.
Yeah.
No. James decided to do the 2 bathrooms. Okay. Now, we had a little rift this week because
Wrong color?
He claimed that I didn't want to participate in the kitchen floor painting. And I had to remind him that I was the person who said to him, James, this looks kind of good. Maybe we ought to do the kitchen floor that really needs to have a workover or something. And so he didn't respond when I first suggested it, but then when it became his idea, he responded and then said, "You never, you didn't act like you were interested in this or something." And so, anyway, he started the painting.
People that live together don't listen to each other. Ask my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, are you telling me something that I don't know? Really? Look, he, of course, decided that he would start the painting of the kitchen. Now,
he did tell you about it before he did, right? So you
Yeah.
knew, you
My
knew
bedroom-
not to go in there.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
good.
Bedroom is on the other side of the kitchen. Okay. So in order to get from the TV room and the living room, you have to cross through the bedroom. Okay. So when he's painting the floor, that means that I'm relegated to this room and the television room and the dining room. And well, I could go upstairs, but I'm not going to go upstairs. But I'm delegated to away from where I'm used to. So now I'm feeling kind of like claustrophobic in this place, and he begins, and of course he's doing it in his tidy whities, and doing it.
Do we really need to know that?
Well, I'll send you a picture.
Oh no! The description is enough.
No, and I said, James, couldn't you just put the pants on? I mean, like it just seems that
Sweatpants
there's
at least.
something off here. So then he did the floor, and he got done, and I looked at it and I said, this really doesn't look like the right color for the floor. It seems to not match the yellow of the walls in the kitchen. And
Because he doesn't like yellow.
No, he likes the yellow wall. I wanted it to be the yellow walls of the kitchen come down into a glossy yellow floor for a kitchen. And we have rugs, that he sent out to be cleaned, like we need to have them cleaned at this point in our lives. So they've been sent out. And meanwhile, so the color of the kitchen is a color you don't see in nature. Okay. And the color of the kitchen is now, I said, well, he said it's the same color that is in the bathrooms. And so therefore it will change when he puts his 2 coats of polyurethane on. And I said, you're going to do the polyurethane? Yeah. He said, but first I'm doing the little squares around the corners. And so that's what he did yesterday. He painted maybe 400 squares around the room, like a border. Okay. And he did it with a tiny little paintbrush and a what do you call those things that have holes in it, and you put it on, and then you, it's, oh God, you know what it is. It's sort of like you stick something through your painting. Oh, it's a pattern that you want to be repeated. So you just go over it and over it. I don't know what it is.
Before you go too far, Bob, I wonder if anybody's noticed that Bob's description of someone painting is kind of like watching paint dry.
Ooh.
Sorry,
He had
Bob.
to explain what paint. He had to explain what paint was when he started. I thought that was a toothbrush he was using. That was the problem. Yeah.
Hey,
no.
we're way past break here, and I know you had
geez.
a song you wanted to play.
I do. And in fact, I've got some great songs in today's show. Incidentally, let me just pull it up so that I can
Remember
see.
what it was?
I don't remember. Peter's got it. Wait a minute. I have to go to Yahoo.
You're playing some Ella Fitzgerald right off the bat.
I'm playing what?
Ella Fitzgerald.
Oh, I thought you said Elephants Gerald. That would be a name of a band. Elephants.
Elephants.
Elephants Gerald.
Ella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love Ella Fitzgerald, as we all do. And to perk us up in the morning, I thought I do her version of How High the Moon, which has this great scat in it. So this is Ella, How High the Moon. It's up there, everybody.
Somewhere there's music, how faint the tune. Somewhere there's heaven, how high the moon. There is no moon above when love is far away too. Till it comes true that you love me as I love you. Somewhere there's music, it's where you are. Somewhere there's heaven, how near, how far. The darkest night would shine if you would come to me soon. Until you will, I'll still my heart, how high the moon. High the moon is the name of the song. How high the moon, though the words may be wrong, we're singing it because you asked for it, so we're swinging it just for you. How high the moon, does it touch the stars? How high the moon, does it reach up to Mars? Though the words may be wrong to this song, we're asking how high, 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 high is the moon. Boo, 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 doo, 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 da, boo, 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 doo, doo. Do 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 be, oh do down 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 do be, be do 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 be, bo bo be ba ba oh, be da ba be, be let it did da ba bo be, do 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 ba, be be da ba ba be be ba 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 be ah, be be ba be ba be, oh do 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 da, be boom bing bang bing bang 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 bang, booty did did be ah. Baby, you did my baby, booby, do do da da dee, oh do 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 da da dee, baby, you baby, da booby, baby, you da da dee, I do little 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 baba, baby, you baby, 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 you be my baby, booby, do do da da dee, oh do 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 da da dee, baby, you baby, you da booby, baby, you da da dee, do 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 da ba 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 ba. Boy, I do you do bow 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 baby, baby, your baby, though the words may be wrong to this song, we hope you like high, 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 high as the moon.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes and Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise. all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldsstate.bncollege.com.
This is Ken Stomsky from Ken's Den on WCPC 15 and 89.5 FM, Tuesdays, 8 to 10.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. It is May 5th, okay? It's not May 4th. Yesterday, May the 4th be with you. Did you see all that promotion for Star Wars, etc.?
That was awful.
Today's worse, though, Bob.
Why?
It's
What
worse
is it?
because it's, and this is going to kill me because the restaurants aren't open. It's Cinco de Mayo on a Taco Tuesday.
Oh my gosh, you are right. Oh my God.
It's killing me because Bobby Goff, Lynn, the host of Bobby G and Friends on Thursdays,
Yeah.
and I used to get together to lunch at least every other Tuesday over at what's
Santiago's.
No, over in Agawam. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind.
El Ranchero.
No, it's not a Mexican
Cucaracha.
place. It's not a Mexican place. It's
Oh, it's not a Mexican.
oh, it's Captain Jimmy's.
You can't go to
Captain Jimmy's. No, the cooks are Mexican. They're really good. So the cooks started Taco Tuesday over there, and there was $2 tacos and $4 margaritas, and
All right. So let's just say Captain Jimmy was, he was on the ship, and it's a pirate
was like,
ship,
wow.
and he was and he was raiding the Caribbean islands and some.
And he goes to this beautiful Mexican
but
little
we
town.
but we would go over there for lunch for Taco Tuesdays. and it
Taco
was
Tuesdays.
cheap, and it was like we used to have fun talking and
Did you
throwing
have a
show
couple of
ideas.
margaritas?
Don't they do
No,
takeout?
I was on the clock. I couldn't.
Don't they do
Oh, yeah.
takeout?
Yeah, but it's not the same.
What?
It's
You
not
know,
the same. What are you eating in our cars and talk? No, it's not the same.
No.
Well, we'll have to do so. Well, we've got to find a way to do this. And we were talking about this. There's going to be a way where people are going to feel safe going out and meeting with other people. Masks is the number one thing. So, okay, let's find a way to get masks.
I'm not going to
in
need one after
everybody's
today. You
hands.
know that, right?
What?
I'm getting my test for the COVID antibodies today.
Yeah,
I'm already
Oh.
scheduled for my test.
right.
It's at noon.
Are you going to a tent someplace?
No, not test for the active virus, test for the antibodies.
Okay, got it.
I believe and my doctor, I talked to my doctor. After telling him the story of the exposure path, he believes
Right.
that I had it in January. When
here's the
I got it from
question.
Kenny, and Kenny got it from the Consumer Electronics Show.
If you've already had it and you are carrying the antibodies, are you carrying something that can be
No,
given to someone else?
No, because I read a new directive from the CDC yesterday, which came out over the weekend, which
Right.
says that you stop shedding the virus almost immediately, or the amount of virus you shed stops almost immediately after you develop symptoms. So once you're symptomatic, the virus keeps going down and down and down. By the time you're about 6 days out of showing the first set of symptoms, you're almost shedding no virus.
So now that said,
Are
By
we
10 days-
because we don't want to make people go out without masks.
Yeah.
No, the governor's orders mask, so you have to wear them for now.
so that's but
What I'm
that's
saying is, with the research that they have, and this is coming out right from the CDC, I took time yesterday. It took me about 2 hours to read all these stinking studies and summaries and crap. Is that by 10 days out, this is why they want you to self-quarantine for 14 days. Once you exhibit symptoms, by 10 days out, you're not shedding any virus, so you're not communicating it to somebody else.
now that's said.
Yeah, but can you get the virus again? There
No.
is some talk.
No, the South Korea stuff has been disproven because of inaccurate testing.
people? Yeah, and honestly, this is what everyone believes today. What the scientific community may find out in a few more days or weeks.
That's building
or
a church
months
for Easter Sunday.
It may be changing.
No.
It may be changing. So, don't.
Yeah,
so
Peter,
all
you
of
know-
I wouldn't
that-
violate a governor's order.
No, and-
I wear my stuff out.
It's what is making people comfortable. You may know you had it, and you may be pretty sure, based on your research, that you're not going to give it to somebody else, but the guy in front of you doesn't know that.
Well, that's the problem, and I agree with some of the people who are like, oh, science, science, science. The media is overhyping this to a magnitude of at least 5, right? So most people,
5.
now they're finding out most people have already had it.
I thought it was 6. It could have been 4.
Most people have already had it. So they're cranking people up.
That? Where did you get that? They haven't. There's not been testing of every person, and
you're never going to have testing of every person. That's impractical.
No, but still, you didn't test.
Representative samples from all over the country are showing that most people have it and don't have any symptoms at all.
But the idea that there's the other side of most is there are some people that have it.
Right, but okay, so you need to protect your populations that need to be protected, like elderly, people with underlying symptoms. I have no problem with those people staying until there's a vaccine. The problem is that we'll have, if everybody stays in until there's a vaccine, we'll have no country left to go back to. There'll be nothing left.
We'll have to
because
start
there's businesses
over,
already
which
closing.
might not be a bad idea.
No, you won't start over. It will never come back from it, Bob.
And then what would happen?
And then the Chinese will call in their notes and they'll own the joint.
Which was the original plan to begin with. But here my notes, my notes right here in my hands. They're saying that people need to be. They're not going to come out until they are comfortable.
That's true.
Okay, so
rightly so.
If everybody here, you, me, Bob, if we know we've had it, we know we're not contagious, we should still wear a mask because the people around us don't know what we know. And that's today our theory. Again, what's science? Is that going to change tomorrow? Probably. Science continues to evolve in its understanding of everything. So don't ever run around with the comfort that you don't need a mask. Everybody's going to need one for a long time until this thing is over. That's what's going to make us comfortable to go out and be with each other in the world. Doesn't matter. And they'll learn how to read whether you're smiling or not.
Yes, Peter, I'd also say this. You remember how we eliminated people smoking, et cetera, et cetera? The culture has to change. So our culture has got to begin to understand that wearing a mask is not anything that is alien. I mean, let's all face it.
It's also a choice, Bob. I don't want to live in a country where I'm compelled to do things. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
That's not what I signed up for.
No, you didn't. But I didn't sign up to kill 60,000 people. Bob, and if I have the virus,
all right, you know what? This is where I'm going to start going fact based on you. I'm going to see what else kills you and kills Americans every day. 60,000 people out of 350 million. Not really a big deal. It's not.
Wait a minute. Holy mother, what you just
It is if
said?
you're one of them.
It's not a big deal.
You know what? I don't want to live in a world where I'm scared of everything that comes down the goddamn road. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to live in a world where I'm scared all the time. I'm not. I'd rather take the risk. You know what? If I die tomorrow, so be it. Really, seriously.
What if your neighbor dies?
I don't live near anybody, Bob.
Is that what you're saying? So be it?
Yeah. That's life. That's the world. We're
Jay,
not,
help me, please.
Bob.
Help
we are
me.
never ever going to defeat Mother Nature. Mother Nature always wins.
I'm working on it, Bob. I'm trying to find that special magic button that Peter has that turns you off. I'm going to find it. It turns him off.
No,
too,
Mother Nature always wins.
Mother Nature doesn't always.
Yes, Bob, it does. I'm sorry. You could go out tomorrow and be stung by 100 bees and be dropped dead.
Oh, that's it. It's the giant Asian bee.
The
Asian hornet.
Do you realize that millions of things can kill you every day? Did you? You know what? I'm going to send you a video from Bill Maher saying he thinks it's ludicrous what we're doing.
Well,
Bill Maher's a liberal.
I know. I don't care what anybody says. I think you have to err on the side of caution.
I don't mind erring on the side of caution and have prudence
It's the culture
But I'm not
thing,
going
Bob.
to.
I think
I'm
you
not
have
going to
it
live.
right.
I'm not
Bob,
going to
you
live.
have it exactly right. It's a culture thing. People will evolve in order to accept what is the new normal. You might
That's
not like
exactly
it.
right.
You know, I mean, the people that were smokers, they probably, there's a lot of them out there that don't like that they can't smoke around people again or now.
Yeah.
On the other hand, they're realizing that if they have to go outside in the wintertime and smoke, that it's cold out, and that's why I'm getting sick. Not because I'm smoking, it's because I'm outside. It's cold.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you fix that? You go out and get the patch, and now you don't have to smoke anymore. There's going to be solutions to this that will evolve, will become the new normal, the socially acceptable new
Right.
normal.
Yeah, but
And Jay,
And
I would
you may
also
not-
add that the solutions are going to better society in one way or another.
Yeah.
Not
and for
worsen
now,
society.
and for-
Nobody wants not
People-
to have the country shut down.
and for now,
Everybody
I
wants
don't.
the country to thrive.
Yeah, and I don't like wearing masks either for now,
Yeah.
but that's what we need to do. Everybody needs to do that in order for everybody to feel comfortable out there again. Now,
And I want to
because
try
nobody's
and save
going to
every life.
are we going to go on the green? Are you going to put 2,000 people on the green to see a show and expect them and have each of them draw a 6-foot circle around them?
No.
Not going to happen. But
No.
if they have masks on and they're a little bit closer than that, I mean, it's a little
No.
short. It's a
No,
little
no,
bit.
no,
It's a
Jay.
step shorter than putting
Wait a minute.
a plexiglass shield between
No,
them.
no, they're
but it
saying
will
6
work.
feet and the mask.
That's not what they're saying.
Yes, they are.
Show me.
This governor
Show me.
said 6
you can't
feet
say
in a
anything,
mask.
You can't say anything else without until you show me. Prove it.
Governor said
Prove it.
6 feet in a mask.
Find it. If they said it, you'll
Well,
have it in a
regardless,
recording.
If it's
Find
6
it.
feet in a mask, okay. There's a concert series in some town in America right now that is doing it at a drive-in movie. Do you believe it? And the
That I
cars
like.
drive in.
That's a cool
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of people doing virtual concerts, we've been doing that right here, and it's worth
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about.
tell us about it.
Yeah, Pete, and thanks to Pete Coles for working on this. Pete's really
Yeah,
done a
thank you,
nice job.
Peter.
Pete and Ken Stomsky's running the cameras, and it's really been a nice thing. We've been bringing in some local bands. And running pretty much every weekend, we've been putting these recordings together. And Pete, when are these going to run? You're editing them up a little bit.
The
right?
first one's already run this weekend, and I'm sprinkling in the senior center's doing a chair yoga and a stretching class.
Chair yoga.
Yes.
How do you do chair yoga? Is that like goat yoga?
Tune in Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2:00
Here,
and
wait.
find out.
Do you
Here's the warrior.
is it like goat yoga? You put a chair on your back? What?
I'm gonna have that instructor come in and kick your butt.
What?
So tune in Tuesdays and Thursdays
Here's a
at
downward
2:00.
dog. Wait a minute. Here's the downward dog.
No. Boy, I'm glad that camera doesn't tilt down. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, if you're watching on the radio, you didn't see me move down, see
Yeah.
my downward dog. You'll have to go to the archive at YouTube or go on WSKB.org. You can catch us streaming live.
yes,
So
Pete,
Tuesdays
when
and
is-
Thursdays at 2:00.
That's when
We have
the
chair
music is
yoga.
running?
We have chair yoga, and
when's
right
the music
afterwards,
running?
we're running
Yeah.
the program.
What
which is
program?
Jeff and Sam acoustic,
Okay, good.
and then Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 and 2:00 we are running senior center stretching with Dr. Gary Gorman, and in between we're running Jeff and Sam acoustic.
Okay, so we're seeing now.
Oh,
Jeff and Sam
lovely.
was one of the recordings that we've already done. Did that a couple of weeks ago. But what's the regular? Are you going to be airing this regularly on Westfield TV?
Saturdays and Sundays at 8.
Okay, good,
Studio
Oh, that's
120
good.
sessions.
excellent.
Studio 120, where you are,
Yes,
at the Westfield Technical Academy.
right.
The Vogue.
Yeah, and isn't Kathy Palmer doing storytelling or something?
Cattails, yeah.
That's cool. I saw that.
Yeah, I've been sneaking those in. I got to find a regular spot for that because they're between 15 and 30 minutes.
I see. I got
I gotta find a
so you
spot
need to
for
read
that.
something for 15 or a half hour to make it a program. It has
Somebody-
to be a half hour.
Somebody asked me,
no. This is public access. It can be 5 minutes and
Yeah.
it
Somebody
qualifies.
asked me if there's a regular schedule, what's going on Westfield TV or Channel 15, and I guess they're both the same, right? The same programming.
Yes, I'm working on that because the problem is that with all the meetings and stuff, I have to cover right now every single meeting that we have, 22 boards and commissions, for the city of Westfield. And because
They're all having Zoom meetings?
because of the public meeting law, the public can't go. So to satisfy the public meeting law, the governor has allowed that the meeting could be held by teleconference of any sort, but it has to be, at least the audio has to be broadcast on your local cable channel or streaming or both. So last night I was here doing school committee. I have planning board tonight. I think the Conservation Commission is meeting again in the next week or so. I know that the Cultural Council wanted to meet. So all these meetings, Council on Aging Board, all these meetings have to be covered on air. So it's kind of disrupting me making any permanent scheduling.
I see. Okay,
That's my problem.
Where's the schedule for those things?
They're on the city website.
Ah.
Yeah,
all
go
the
to
meetings
City
are
of
posted on the
Westfield website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, kids.
So that's the problem.
Hey, kids.
Yeah. I want to, Peter, we're not going to play the Art Pepper song. I'll play that at another time, but I want to tell everybody there's this great album, he's a great jazz musician called Art Pepper. I watched something called Notes from a Jazz Survivor. You can get it probably on YouTube, or you can pay for it on Prime or one of those. But it was like 46 minutes of Art Pepper, who had a really incredibly interesting life in that he was in and out of jail and he was a heroin addict. And it gives you a real sense of what it's like to be a heroin addict after. And it's really tough to watch in its way, but it's got the great Art Pepper playing. So that was one of the things I watched this week. But hey, everybody, I'm going to play a
But he's not going to play the song he just introduced.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to play those. No, I'm not. I don't know why I did that.
I told you that story to tell you this story.
Exactly.
I want to play the song from Here From There. What's the name of that show on Saturday night that took the place of Prairie Home Companion? Live from Here, it's called. And it's with a mandolinist by the name of Chris Thiel. Now, my Wisconsin music director sent me this yesterday, and he said, you know, the Punch Brothers, not the punch, you know, like boom, boom.
Hey, buddy, how would you like to have a nice Hawaiian punch?
You're right. The Punch Brothers are a incredible band. They used to be the first band that Chris Thiel featured on Live from Here. And this is from their album Phosphorescence. And it really shows you that you can take bluegrass, country, or whatever, folk, and expand it in a way. And I love the name. The name of the song, okay, is called My. Oh, My. So that is the song I'm about to play, everyone. It's called My Oh My, and here we go. And Peter...
spinning under a thumb, spinning under a thumb.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Listen to me, Michael Buster McMahon, Mondays 8 to 10 a.m. to learn the stories behind your favorite songs. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. It's the Westfield and Weekend Show, everybody, and I am Bob Plass. To my left, if you're watching on television, there he is, the well-modulated sidekick, trusty and dusty, Jake Pagluka. Why did I stumble on that? I have no idea.
JP. That's because nobody can pronounce Pagluka.
Yeah. The laughing man in the little square there is our great pal, Pete Coles, who's the producer who brings us all the shows to you on WSKB. There he is. And he is May's merry mixer of microphones. Gotcha?
Okay.
Still pretty cheesy, but okay.
It is pretty cheesy.
Yeah.
You know, we got to change the alphabet so I can come up with.
No, you need to think ahead and make a calendar of what you're going to do each month.
And that's true.
You have time on your hands now.
I do. Hey, speaking of time on my hands, what do you think about the hair today? How's my hair?
Looks good, Bob.
All right. Now, in order to get it like this, okay.
Yes.
I wanted to show everybody what in fact, I realized that maybe this is going to be a mistake.
This isn't going to be like that story about painting, is it?
No, actually, I sent.
Okay.
There is.
What's that?
Oh, look, there's
It's
Jim Quinn, who's going to be there's with his partner.
I think you need to. I think you need to move that.
Yes, I
around
need
a
to
little.
adjust.
Okay, well, we'll fix that.
We'll
okay.
Yeah.
Jim is coming up at 7:00.
That's right. Okay, so I have my. This is my conditioner.
I want to see his hair again. Wait, we need to see Bob's hair for this.
So I ordered this online, and I thought my hair, somehow or other, I'm getting bags under my eyes. The hair is falling out.
They can
like
fix
mad,
that. They sell it on TV. You want to be the model for that?
No, Dr. Coughlin can fix that.
Yeah.
Look at this. Oh, yeah, Kenny, I'm going to talk to him about it. This is called Seraflu. And,
I can't see it.
And the name of it is Retaliate.
Sarah Phil, Bob.
What is it? Sarah Phil. Yeah. Okay.
can't see it.
Retaliate.
Can you fix
Okay,
that,
so you
Pete?
put this on, and then you do this. You take this, and this is the conditioner, and this is called Defy.
It looks like the same
So
stuff.
my hair is, so what it does, it thickens my hair, apparently.
That
And then
explains a lot.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is I've been gaining weight the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And I think what it is I haven't been able to cut my hair. My hair weighs more now, like by at least 4 or 5 pounds.
Oh my word! I'm telling you. Look, there's Jim. He's got a nice background and everything. He's
Look, he
looking
hears
Got a
you
nice
and
fore.
everything.
Yeah, how's your foreground? Background. Foreskin.
Wait. Hey,
Bob.
Hey,
You're
Jim,
not supposed to say that. It's too early in the morning.
and you're on the air too, so you know
be careful.
when you join in the Zoom meeting, you're right along with the rest of us for this crazy party.
Yes, everyone.
Tell you
I
what,
should probably tell you. So
And
anyway,
I'm gonna actually go ahead, Bob. Finish your story.
all right. So I figured that my hair is going to begin to look like it did either in the 60s when I had this huge afro. Remember that, James? Yeah.
I gotta see you with an afro. Show me a picture of that.
Or I'm going to look like one of the Cordettes, that you know, with the helmet hair. So because of this, the spray that I use now is called Maximize, and I said I can't maximize this because if I maximize this, I'm going to add another. Really? So
Michael,
and you know what
I
it's
can't
doing?
hear them very well.
Yeah. Oh, God. Jim can't hear us very well.
That means he needs to turn up the volume on his end.
Yeah, I have to turn up the volume. I was just talking to my tech director. You'll pardon me. He's
Yeah. Oh,
right
okay.
here.
Is that your dog running around?
Oh
Yeah,
God,
okay,
turn
yeah.
up the volume.
All right. This is great.
This is like dealing with another Bob.
Oh, easy. Don't go right off insulting
go
the
there.
poor guy.
No, I'm giving him a compliment
Okay.
because look how quickly he fixed it.
No, he didn't.
He comes with his own producer.
Yes,
Is that the fish? The fish is your producer?
that's Mr. Big Mouth Bass to
Sorry. Okay.
Good, he's gonna fit right in.
Yeah.
you. Amen,
Sir. Mr. Big Mouth Bass, sir.
sir.
That's exactly right. Hey, it's 6:53, and Jim Quinn isn't supposed to be on until 7:00, but that's absolutely fine.
The problem is once you join in, Bob, you join in. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
And, you know,
if he wants to do some homework there, he's writing a constitution or something, or his novel or something. Yes. Well,
This was a rash and ill-considered plan.
aren't those the best kind?
Welcome to Tuesday morning on Channel 15 and
Welcome to
89.5.
Twilight, a series of rash and ill-considered plans.
Yes. Well, we appreciate you showing us your bass this morning.
Oh, Jay.
What?
Jay.
Here, and Ted, what about you guys? You're not masked or anything, and you're near each other. I'm all set to be nice.
You've been listening to the
mustache
show.
and a big
Yeah.
snout.
No, that's okay. Mardi Gras is a good thing. Okay.
oh God, you got it. Oh God. The guy that's below me right here has been my friend for oh my gosh, how many years now? 57 years. I was counting. Yeah, 57, almost 66 decades. Do you, either one of you, have friends that long?
Bob, I've only been
or
alive
underwear that
49
long?
years.
What is that?
I've only been alive 49 years.
That's all right. I was born
I
in
have
the 50s,
I have
so
actually have a friend who's been around since I was like 8.
Tell him to extrapolate.
I think I have a stuffed monkey that's about that old, but okay.
Jim Quinn, you and Jay might have something similar in your background. Jay went to some school in Manchester, a high school in Manchester.
Some
Right,
school.
and we got a Manchester High, East Catholic, or 3 Cheney Tech at that
Yeah,
point.
that's right. Yeah, and all three are still there.
All right.
And which one did you go to? Jay,
Jim,
which one?
I was at Manchester High.
All right.
Yeah, which
And
one
I'm-
did you go to?
Well, I have a lot of friends who I said I went to high school with. They're still my friend. Tom down in New York right now, listening in with his beautiful wife Liz.
Oh,
I
wonderful.
went to school with. Thing is, he was my student, and I taught high school in Manchester at East Catholic from '67 to '80.
Ah, you were over at that school.
That
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you in high school at that time, Jay?
So I was there early 70s. I was at Manchester High. Yeah.
Oh, so my cousin went to East Catholic in the early 80s.
Well, James was long gone.
Yeah.
I left in '80, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, those were good times back then. That was some
gonna
good
say,
years
good
to be in
times.
school. We certainly had a ball, and East Catholic, they were the rivals across town. We argued from across the parking lot at McDonald's. That was the big deal.
And we did, and as teachers, we did all our after-school work, our homework, and all that at Hartford Road Cafe.
That's right. Yes, at the road, and that's still there too, by the way.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it is. Yeah. I worked for so many bands down there over the years. Yeah. It's and I can't remember any of them. So,
I'm surprised.
we said that was a good time to be growing up down there, and throughout the 70s, I am told I had some great times. So we'll leave it at that.
We had some great times, and one of the greatest things about it, white guy, privileged, kept me out of the Vietnam War teaching. Bob, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
I was just a little too young to be part of that, and for good, better, bad, whatever. But I missed having to go through the draft. I registered for the draft, and then that all faded away as I aged out.
Yeah,
So,
Jim, did you have a high number? I don't remember my number or anything.
I don't remember
My
that
number
either.
was up.
If I had a number, it was high. We can't talk about that as a high school teacher.
I'm not sure if I had a number, but I was always on somebody's list. It was generally a teacher, now that I think about it.
It's called the naughty list, Jay.
The naughty list. You guys, I gave up like an idiot in 1969. I don't know if you remember this, Jim. I gave up teaching, and I was teaching in a parochial school in Chicopee Falls, St. George's. Remember? And I gave it up, and I got a 1A, and I did everything in my power to get out of the draft. And you gave me all kinds, because we were living in Wellfleet as cops that summer.
Cops
And
Wellfleet out on the Cape. Yeah,
Oh,
well, so they didn't quite give you a gun. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, if I may say, Bob, just to give the picture, to give it a fuller coloring in, as a
Please.
cop, you were mostly seen in a beach chair by a parking lot knitting. That's the barge of Cahoon Hollow.
And you knew how to use that
that's true.
knitting needle, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yeah. It was actually LeCounte's Hollow.
It was.
You were at Newcomb Hollow for some of the time.
Bob, if
Yeah.
this period of conversation here is going to be one where you incessantly correct me,
Get used to
No.
my sister and my brothers. That's not the way it was, Jim. You remember nothing. You weren't. Please, yes, it was LeCounte's Hollow. I had the good one. I had the Cahoon Hollow.
Jim,
we have to
we're
go
kind
through
of
it?
used to that around here by now. Hey,
Yeah.
Bob, and here's another thing we're used to is having to remind Bob, we're up against a break, Bob. It's the top of the hour. And
Oh my gosh, it's exactly right.
When we
Well,
come back, we'll be able to introduce Jim.
I think that's a great idea. I have a song for us because I watched, I don't know, did you see Take Me to the World, the Stephen Sondheim celebration? Have you seen that, Jim, on YouTube?
My God, I was there. It was so hard to get through the velvet ropes. It took about an hour and a half, but when I got in, wow, what a bash. Honestly, I kept moving to get closer to Jake Gyllenhaal because I've always...
Wait a minute. Hold it. Wait a minute. This was the one online like last week.
You thought it was online because you were there. Honest to God, I was talking to Brian Stokes Mitchell. I saw Tom and Liz over in the corner, and I across a crowded room. But soon as she saw Linda Lavin, she hates Linda Lavin. Moving towards her, she ran, made a hasty retreat to the ladies or something, and we never caught up with them.
See, Jim, we got to be careful. We've convinced Bob that there's this big lockdown and he's got to be indoors and everything is really online. Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that there's things he can go to.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bob.
Has the war ended yet? Is Nixon still president? All right. So anyway, I was watching that. It's for everybody. Take Me to the World, the 90th birthday celebration of Stephen Sondheim. YouTube it because it has great stuff. I'm not playing anything from it, incidentally, but I want you to know that.
Another one. I told you that story to tell you this story.
Yeah. So I'm going to play a song by Stephen Sondheim that reminded me of Jim and me because this is from Merrily We Roll Along. This is Old Friends with an emphasis on old. Here we go. Peter? There.
Here's to us. Who's like us? Damn few. Hey, old friend, are you okay? Old friend, what do you say? Old friend, are we or are we unique? Time goes by, everything else keeps changing. You and I, we get continued next week. Most friends fade or they don't make the grade. New ones are quickly made and in a pinch sure they'll do. But us, old friend, what's to discuss? Old friend, here's to us. Who's like us? Damn few. So, old friend, fill me in slow. Old friend, start from hello. Old friend, I want the when, where, and how. Old friends do tend to become old habit. Never knew how much I missed you till now. Most friends fade or they don't make the grade. New ones are quickly made, some of them worth something too. But us old friends, what's to discuss? Old friends tell you something. Good friends point out your lies, whereas old friends live and let live.
Good friends like and advise, whereas old friends love and forgive.
And old friends let you go your own way, help you find your own way.
Let you off when you're wrong.
If you're wrong, when you're wrong.
Right or wrong, the point is old friends shouldn't care if you're wrong.
Should, but not for too long. What's too long? If you're wrong, when you're wrong.
The thing is, old friends do leave their brands on you, but old friends shouldn't compete.
Old friends don't make demands on you. Should make demands on you. Well, don't make demands you can't meet. Well, what's the point of demands you can meet?
Well, there's a time for demands, whether you meet them or not.
Frank, you never don't ever start with each other. Old friends, how do we stay? Old friends, who is to say? Old friends, how an old friendship survives. One day, chums having a laugh a minute. One day comes and they're a part of your lives. New friends pour through the revolving door. Maybe there's one that's more if you find one that'll do. But us old friends, what's to discuss? Old friends, here's to us. Who's like us? Damn few.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield. Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
I did it!
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. It is May 5th, 2020 and counting. My name is Bob Plass. I'm from Westfield on weekends. Go to westfieldonweekends.org for all kinds of things. Lots not happening, but they are. But you get the community events and everything else that's, who to donate to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And our great Heidi Whalen does a great job of updating that and keeping everybody informed. So you can go on there and become a friend of Westfield on weekends. We'd be really happy. The man to my left is JPEG Luca, trusty, dusty, lusty, and well-modulated sidekick. Then in the little square is Peter Coles, the kitten of the keys. Meow. And below him is my... Oh, no, how do you want me to say that, Jim?
I'd like you to say, wow, it's Jim. And I'm looking him in the face. Bob, how's my hair?
I've always admired your hair. You have always been, really, your hair has been beautiful. I mean, it's like I was with you once, okay? And remember this, when we were in a restaurant, and somebody came over, walked over to you. This is in Connecticut, New York or Connecticut?
It was in Hartford.
Hartford. And man came over, and you finished the story. What did he say?
Man came over and he said, "You have really nice hair." I said, "Thank you." And then I leaned over to you and I said, "I've heard a few lines before, but that's nice. I like that."
It was a great pickup line. We thought he was trying to pick one of us up, you see.
Well,
it's like butter.
Butter. It's like champagne, they said. It's like Silva. And then he came over with his card. My voice is a little... I don't think I'm going to sing the matinee today, Bob, but I'm going to do my best this morning. He came over with his card and he said, "I think we can use you." And it had the name of a salon. Remember haircuts?
Yeah.
I had a string of wonderful haircutters, Nadja women, wonderful women from exotic places. Maria, Estrella. Now I've got the demon barber of Sumner Road here. Anyway, I went down to see the gentleman who had handed me his card and said, "You got nice hair, bud." And they were I don't know what adjective to use, a coven perhaps of barbers, of hair cutters.
A coven of barbers.
A cabal,
a barrel of barbers.
A union or something, but they competed with each other at grand meetings. And when they checked out my hairline, which passed muster, I must say, proudly, I had no idea that was so important down here. And here, they said, "What are you doing in September?" And I said, I had just left the teaching job and was finishing another master's. And I said, I'm, to use Elaine Stritch's phrase, I'm at liberty. And they said, "Will you come to Paris with us?"
Yes.
In the next 4 years, I went to Tokyo, Buenos Aires, Stockholm to get my expletive deleted haircut.
So it pays to have good hair.
Oh yeah. And if you remember that the guy came over, once I found out that you were going to be stardom you were going to be made, I was fawning my hair and so he said, well, let me look at yours. And he looked at the back and he went, oh no. Oh no. Honest to God. And so you had that career. Meanwhile, you would come home from Amsterdam or wherever you were.
I know.
In a different color hairdo every day.
Arlene Dahl red one time. Yeah.
Yes. And you would go and you were teaching in
high school in the Bronx.
In the Bronx. Yes. And so you returned to the classroom.
Well,
and did you dare go with your color? With your dye job?
My costume is always, coordinated. We go. I was dressed as the Motley Fool a little earlier, but threw that costume out. But yes, it went with my hair. But I want to remind you that it's not a life that you would have liked. It was an excursion every 6 months or something. But when you got to Paris, you spent the time with your head in a frickin' bowl. You just sat there. And they worked on you, You didn't see the lights of Paris. And then they would tell you at night, don't drink. It'll do something to the
follicles.
Follicles. There, you got it. Yeah. So they really tried to clamp down on us, just like when we were at school at Holy Cross. No going out. We did nothing of that. But yes, I went back to school. I had told, I guess, we're long gone from there. I had told the administration at that point that I needed a few days off and I was coming home to Connecticut to have a procedure done. You leave that vague. Then I came back a week later and my hair was red. And so, one of the wags in the front row of my basic composition class said, Mr. Quinn, I guess the medicine didn't agree with you. You got a lot of kids like that.
Yes, yeah.
That happened, yes.
Yeah. So you have been a hair model. You were a teacher for many years. And then I was thinking about this because you have had the wonderful luck, and because you are creative, you're really creative, You're probably my most creative. You're like the one and only. There's no one like Jim Quinn, Jay. Did you notice?
I'm not like other people.
And you are not.
That has no bounds.
You are not. No. And
which of these things is not like the others? That kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have you've been all over the world. And back.
That's why he's there now.
That's exactly. You know where he is? Actually, he is. You have a beautiful apartment in New York City, 187th Street, something like that. Is it 87th?
6, but who's counting?
Yeah.
176, yeah.
186th Street.
176, he said, Bob.
We call it Washington Heights.
Washington.
Me and my Dominican community, of which I am an honorary member.
Wonderful. So you are now in Kent, Connecticut. Where what is that like? Kent, Connecticut.
It's charming. It's TFC, 2 blank charming here. It's a sweet little town. I am watching the sun hit the mountain. Well, we call the mountains here on the East Coast, the hill, and do this beautiful theatrical lighting that comes up on the mountain behind us. It's Bull Mountain. I could tell you stories of the Revolutionary War here, but I'll hold my teaching till later. The sun comes up and does this theatrical thing. It when it gets over the mountain, it hits the top of the other mountain over there and then drips down. Everything is beautiful.
Like wet paint.
See, it all circles around to your paint job, Bob.
However, Bob, when you say wet paint, you remind me of what it's really like here. I'm here enjoying, confined, I think a better word, with my, life partner of 28, 30 years.
That long, my gosh.
Time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he's, well, when you have somebody you love a lot and you have a romantic song, and ours was The Nearness of You when we were dating, long distance, 2 years, Boston, New York. I filed for a change of song. I've gone to the, ASCAP.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can. I got a document that says our song now is The Absence of You. It's not the pale moon that strikes me. It thrills or delights me. Oh, please, the absence of you. Well, painting. I'll call him Michael. I hate that word husband. It's so old.
Yeah, I think
I
we
like
ought to
partner.
come up with something else.
I like partner.
I like partner, and I call him my partner.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say partner, husband, but then it goes right into like sister, wife, and we get all Mormon. So I've stopped it. but partner, husband is off at a hardware store. He's become a fix-it person, and
Wait a minute, that sounds like James.
yeah,
James is doing
We
the same
compare
thing.
notes, believe me. Yeah.
No comment here, except that as Michael's leaving, we know that we have a couple of appointments, and one is somebody that's coming to take care of the carpenter bees. I mean, it's a lovely weekend place here. I knew there were carpenter bees, but now we need to really deal with that.
There's a hole
They'll
in the
take
wall
over.
now.
Yeah, they'll take over if you
yeah.
let them.
So I get instructions. Me, teacher, I get instructions from Michael. When he sprays now, Jim, we've got to let the house dry. And, it was like, oh, yes. So I want you to, and I go, you're going to teach me how to let the house dry?
It sounds exactly like James. These are the stories we've been hearing now for 2 weeks.
Really?
Oh, James is on a painting spree.
So go ahead.
Well, that's all. I mean, I said to Michael,
How do you draw? How do you watch? Do you prepare? What was it?
You're not
what
going to
was the
ask this,
subtext?
Bob.
gonna go there.
Bob, you've been sending us action shots of you watching paint dry.
I actually sent. Yeah, I did.
No, I think, Michael has taken on he is an amazing, the brightest, funniest person besides you that I know. Where's that?
Doesn't get out much.
It's too late. But I have the feeling now, after all of these years, I got about 10 years on him, and they're showing on me anyway. And I get the feeling that it's he's behaving a lot like he's been paid to babysit me, but not enough. I mean, when he sings things like someone to watch over me, all I can picture is a home health care aide.
See, when we need to babysit Bob, we just lock him in someplace. Yeah, we're good.
We did
No,
that.
we give him multiple options, and he can't figure out where to go.
Sorry, Bob.
Jim is the one that prevented me from being a Trappist monk. He locked me in a closet in college because the abbot was coming to Holy Cross to interview people. And he said, you will never make it as a Trappist monk or something. And so I was locked in this closet. It took about 40 years for me to come out.
Bob, you remember I was considering the priesthood because of my my cousin, who was your president of the college at the time?
Oh, Raymond Swords was, yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, Raymond Swords is a cousin.
Believe it or not. Yeah. We were there at Holy Cross during a time, actually, I sent a picture that reminded me of the Holy Cross stuff. Peter, if you want to check out the email that I sent, maybe it went to Pete Cole's. Do you have that at all?
What email was that, Bob?
It says something about blue nude.
Oh, do I really want to put that up there? I think I saw that.
Yes. No. You may. It's an artwork, and there's nothing salacious about it at all.
Oh, well then what's the point?
All right, give me a minute because I gotta call it up.
All right. These foolish things remind me of you, and this. Well, I was trying to think and the one that came up was one that represented to me the time that I met you. Number one, and also that you were irreverent even back then. Number two, that the time is also. This reminds me of how innocent I was. And and so really needed to be schooled, and how far we've come together. This is art, And so tell this. I was thinking about it. First, we lived in bunk beds, Jay. We had bunk beds.
3 to a room.
There were 3 to a room.
Down every night.
How do you have a bunk bed and have 3? Shouldn't you have 4 if you have bunk beds, or is it 3 and all on top of each other?
No, this figures into the story. We had the
I'm already
captain
confused.
of the football team.
Okay.
Pete Kimmeter was our roommate. Okay. And
Tall had pasted the morning offering prayer on his headboard. We had a lot of, you said irreverent. I was irreverent. I am irreverent. May we stay irreverent. A lot of reverence was pushed down on us, right?
It was a Catholic school, right? Yeah.
Mass daily.
Yeah.
I mean, we were 19 and 20, jackets and ties. And it was just, people talk about the 60s, like they happened in the 60s. Maybe in London, they got a little head start, swing in London. But that 60s didn't come to us till 68 or so, right? Would you?
Yeah, no, it's exactly right. Oh, God, we didn't get
short haircuts.
The first time I saw marijuana, remember this at the Hazard? No, it was at the Valhalla restaurant or bar and grill where we used to hang out. This guy came in and wanted to know whether we wanted to buy marijuana. And remember, he opened up his trunk and or whatever. And I thought to myself, this is like heroin or something. I mean, like it was like, that's how strange times.
You can just go up on the hill and get it now, Bob. It's
well, it's legal here. We could.
Are you? And as a matter of fact, we're close enough to be thinking about a little ride up to Great Barrington to the dispensary just to get through a couple of more weeks of this. Unfortunately, Michael called ahead. He's always thinking they're closed.
It's not one of those critical things that has to be open.
They're not critical.
It's not essential.
Who says?
It's only essential if you had a medical marijuana card.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes. It's it's like the package stores are open up here.
That is
the
critical.
Liquor stores. That's critical.
You close that, they'll be rioting.
Yeah. So it's like I remember way back in, it seems like forever ago, in early March when they started talking about this, in mid-March. And my favorite interview was the woman coming out of the package store because they did a thing on, it was a mobbed parking lot. I mean, just like everybody had to rush to the package store, and they says, well, why are you here? And the little old lady just looks dead in the camera and goes, well, if the world is going to end, the last thing I want to be is sober. And that was on the news up here, and I'm going, yep, okay.
Outstanding.
That's right.
Hey, I have that graphic for you.
Story that I picked up in the Times of a woman. I think she was somewhere downtown in New York. She was old. She was infirm. So she had tacked up a handwritten card in her apartment window facing out to the street that said, I need more beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get through this with a sense of humor, or we're not going to get through this.
Oh, man, yes. Well, back to the story. The blue, put up this thing, the remind James. There it is.
It looks like a James Bond opening silhouette.
Apparently, it's a Matisse.
It's a Matisse.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
And you put it up over your bunk bed, right? Now,
it's odd.
It was odd. Yeah, really. Okay.
Yes.
So my roommate, who was the man who had the morning offering written on and would kneel down by his bed to say his prayers, Peter said, "That's not going up. It's nudity or something." Jim said, "It's odd.
It's odd.
It's odd." Yeah. Peter said, "Well, that either comes down or I'm leaving," and so
I hate ultimatums from anybody.
Oh my God! Yes. So I had to make a decision between Peter and this guy below us. And of course, since Peter was the captain of the football team and seemed to be going places and was handsome, I think I loved him, actually. I think I'd fallen in love with him or something. But I didn't even know at that time. Everybody else knew that I was gay, but Bob didn't really, So I took it down. But then, now, if you think about this, years later, both Jim and I look at that painting. We know a lot about the world. We've grown up way beyond that. And I've seen Pete a total of maybe 20 minutes in the last 57 years. Whereas this guy has been there throughout everything.
And this guy, you've left this out. Put the goddamn painting back right up again.
Oh, you did? Oh, my God.
Pete said, that's that. And he moved off to Carlin 2 or something down the hall.
Yeah. And then we got a roommate, Jay,
Yeah.
that moved in, and the first thing he did was put a statue of the Blessed Virgin on his bureau.
And mothballs in the closet.
Right, yeah.
You can't make this up.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
So Jim and I used to play a game where we tried what happened with the Blessed Virgin. Didn't we try to knock the Virgin Mary's head off or something?
I'm going to take the fifth on this. I have no memory of this at all.
Bob, the statute of limitations doesn't run out on that one.
No.
Honest to God. And then
And I know you remember this from those days. He's always watching.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, they were always watching. We got beyond that.
They watched us, Bob. They watched us.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, we got moved. Remember, we got moved
We
because
chose a room for sophomore year.
Yeah.
Remember, we got to choose, and we chose a nice room with a
view
of Worcester. So that's not saying much.
Yeah.
But when we got back there to school in September, and we went to that room, it wasn't our room. Our names were on the room directly next to the, what do we call them? Resident assistants?
Yeah, in Carlin Hall, resident assistant. We were we were right next to the resident assistants.
Yeah, they moved us right there so they could have their finger on
us. That's how you knew. Yeah, I remember that because my teacher put my desk next to her desk. Yeah, that kind of told me. Yeah, that told me what.
Thing. Yeah, well,
absolutely. Well, the upshot of that whole thing was that they couldn't stand the fact that we were so social, and they moved us in the middle, like 2 months later, 2 doors down into a wind tunnel that was at the end of the corridor. Do you remember that, James?
Yeah, I have very large feet, size 13, big boots, big shoes, and I couldn't get out of the bed. There wasn't hardly room. My legs would hit the wall. It was tough.
Yeah, you had to. This is like.
No, we suffered.
How we suffered to be intelligent.
Now, wait a minute. Isn't that a successful Catholic school if you suffer? Right?
Amen.
Yeah.
My father said, I spent all that money to have you lose your faith.
See,
at any rate.
Now, knowing what we know now, you know, the mischief that we caused back then, right? Yeah. You knew that there were administrators up there just watching, and there were a handful of them just laughing, going, what are they going to do today?
Oh, my God.
Yes. Bob, you were on double secret probation.
Yes.
Oh, well, we had Dawn Patrol, right, Jim?
Well,
remember Dawn Patrol?
I made another rash and ill-considered.
There's a theme going here.
Why? It was after the Christmas concert. You know, as a treat, remember they bring in some women. They would sing to us up on a thing, and the choir, what do they call them? The choral society.
Yes.
And then they wore their white tie and tails, and we ate. I think you served.
They served filet mignon.
Ooh,
right, exactly. And we, of course, had in our little freshman dorm, we had a few little cocktails we got contraband in. We weren't really used to. We hadn't developed that thing that I think has gotten me really through life, and Holy Cross gave it to me, hanging out in bars. Oh, everything happens in bars. But on the way back, we passed a little nativity scene they had set up. Oh, and there were candles. And Leo Kelly and I grabbed a couple of candles.
Oh, yes.
South Adley, Mass. Still going strong. We had this idea, since all the bathrooms were large and marble and they had drains in the floor, could we see if the sprinkler system in our place down the hall might really work, you know? And as I testified later, no, Father, I did not I did not put that candle and wedge it up into the sprinkler apparatus. I merely held Leo, who was a child, on my shoulder. I got to say, I didn't do it. Oh, man, cut my conscience. You know, Lillian Hellman, she would yell at me, but I just said, I didn't do it, but I aided and abetted. Where did I get this language? You know, I should have gone to law school. I aided and abetted, and they kept us in our, well, what happened, guys and women, and all you guys that aren't in my family and don't know this, is not only did the sprinkler system work, but the force of the water broke off the head, flooded down, and then it flooded out into the halls, and then the RAs got brooms and brushes and enlisted everybody's help, and I was right there washing that water out the door. It was a cold December night. What I didn't realize was the fire alarm went off not only in our dorm, but around the entire campus, and the Worcester Fire Department arrived. Came running up the dorm where the water was freezing on the steps. Axes, ass over tea kettle, firemen falling
This is
down.
true.
Yeah. And at that point, there's some priest arrived and said, everybody into their rooms. I walked into our room. You looked at me. You said, you did it.
You did it?
I said, shh, we gotta wait. And they went on for that night interviewing us. We couldn't leave the room, and that priest came around. And then I noticed he was coming to our room awfully frequently. Like some information had been put out there. And I better think
Somebody had snitched.
Yeah, somebody had snitched. And if I was going to go down to my death lying, it was going to be an ugly death. But instead, as you said, we got campused, or I got campused.
No, you got campused, but we did dawn patrol where we had to get up and dress from 6 to 7 in the morning, wasn't it? Or 7 to 8?
Infraction. What would you do wrong to get that?
You'd have beer in your room, or you if you were seen with a woman, or I'm not exactly sure. But hey, the sun's coming up here. It looks like a beautiful day.
It's going to be a nice day. A little chilly today, Bob.
Yeah,
in the
I'm not
60s.
turning radioactive.
It was 80
Everybody,
degrees.
the sun is over there.
Yeah. Okay. No, you're
It's
not
New England.
radioactive.
Jay, it's New
Yeah.
England. We do 60s, 80s. It doesn't matter.
I know.
Yeah,
Mother Nature flips a coin and goes, well, this is what we're doing today.
Yeah, I'm going to play a song for Jim. This is John Pizzarelli. You like John Pizzarelli, Jim?
We used to go to see them all the time at the Carlisle. We love John Pizzarelli and his lovely wife, Mulaski.
Jessica Mulaski. Yes. You just call her Mulaski?
I call her Mulaski. We celebrated our wedding by going to see them.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got a song for you, that John Pizzarelli Quartet. This is a wonderful little Arthur Schwartz song. Here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Pizzarelli and the Swing Seven.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I got out of bed on the right side, on the bright side, on the light side. I got out of bed on the right side, and I'm having a wonderful day. I sang a duet with the rooster, I'm a booster of the rooster. He doesn't crow like he used to, couldn't handle my yodelie. Who cares if the sun ain't shining? The eggs are beaming sunny side up. And as for a silver lining, the coffee's steaming money side up. When day rolls around to the night side, if I still see on the bright side, I don't want to sound on the trite side, but I figure it happens this way. I got out of bed on the right side, and I'm having a wonderful day. as if the sun ain't shining. The eggs are beaming sunny side up. And as for a silver lining, the coffee steaming money side up. The day rolls around to the night side. If I still seem on the bright side, I don't want to sound on the trite side, but I figure it happens this way. I got out of bed on the right side, and I'm having a wonderful day.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for Arts Beat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. It is May 5th. 2020 and counting. My name is Bob Blass. This is Jay Pagluka to my left, trusty sidekick. And below me right here is Jim Quinn, who is the bon vivant of vivants.
I have a degree.
Yeah.
I'm signed. James Quinn, IBB, International Bon Vivant. It's thank you, Bob.
Is that right?
May 5th today?
Yes.
Happy birthday to my brother Dennis. Debbie and Dennis.
Oh my God, that's exactly right. Dennis, here's the Wisconsin birthday song for you. Birthdays come but once a year. We are glad that yours is here. Happy birthday, Dennis, dear. Happy birthday till next year. Chocolate cake.
Purple.
Yes, it's exactly right. Hey, Jim, that was Bright Side. That you told me about that song. You used to sing this, or you sing this song when you wake up in the morning. Is that right?
No, I don't really sing this song when I wake up in the morning. Usually I
in the shower, in the car?
You know.
Never sing the song.
I sang this. I worked for a lot of not-for-profit organizations, and I went to a lot of meetings, and we went to a lot of trainings.
I did too, and then I stopped drinking.
Well, I kept drinking. And what got me through...
Oh, those were different meetings. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't drink at the meeting. I would drink at lunch, and my lunches got longer and longer. But, you know, we had flexibility. I'd been there for years. I'd come back, and I'd work till I fell asleep on my desk. But if I didn't do something to make, let's just say I'm an entertainer, and I am not going to sit there when I've got a quorum.
You got an audience, yes.
I'm used to playing to a bigger house than I'm playing to right now. And one meeting I can remember just before I retired, the HR director would always take your temperature. How are you doing in this department? How are you doing with the after school programs? What's your feeling, Louise? Harry, Juan, are you, and then she'd get around, like, take everyone's temperature. She said, Jim, how are you doing today? I jumped up, I sang that whole friggin' song, pirouetted. I'm a booster of the roost. Anyway, and sat down because they needed it.
Yeah, you love a good song. Actually, in your old age, you have taken up songwriting, haven't you? Did I hear that?
Yes, Well, I don't know whether it's songwriting or doggerel, Bob. But yes, I'm finding that when things get tough, I get a pen in my hand, or I get an idea in my head, and I deal with the vicissitudes of life in light verse. Yes, that's that and drinking, and it helps.
And so you actually do. Do you have an example or two at all?
Sure, of course I do. Here in Kent, when we used to come up on weekends, and we used to rent the house, so we had a series of cleaning help, women, guys, and I say a series because there always seemed to be an issue, whether it was, I don't know, the Adirondack chairs had a lot of roach clips on them, and you just knew that she was staying all afternoon. But during the period of Sharon is a husky gal. Oh dear. And we used to keep the key to the house out between the chimney and she one day said, "Could you keep it somewhere else? I can't fit in there. I can't quite get in there." So I was up at the house one day. It was very important. She was cleaning that day. Usually we didn't, we just passed in the night. But she was cleaning, and I had a guy coming who wanted to live here during the week. I mean, he was from New York, but he was working doing a job for several months, and he wanted to rent the place during the week. I thought it was important. I met him. So I came up, and Sharon was coming to make sure the place looked good. And why don't I sing it for you, Bob?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, you're going to sing the song that you wrote for Sharon?
Yes.
Well, you wrote it because you couldn't tell her.
Well, actually, I never saw her again after that afternoon. And many of her friends who had recommended her had come over. And one of them was sitting on the porch one day and talking to Michael and saying, "What happened between Jim and Sharon?" I was in on the John, and I thought I better come up with something that makes this all. So I walked onto the porch, and I just did my small cabaret act, and I said, "The last time I saw Sharon, she came at 1:30. When I got back at 4:30, the house was hardly done. I yelled at her and swore at her. She said that I was mean. I got right down to work with her. By 6, the house was clean. The last time I saw Sharon, her cheeks were rosy red. I said, 'I'll always work with you.' She said, 'Please, Jim, drop dead.'"
That's perfect.
Yeah, I love that.
That's going to be a #1 hit soon. I can tell. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I used to tell that story. In fact, I think I've told it on the air, probably incorrectly, about the time that you were walking home and you sat down and it was a very long walk and it was a hot day, and you sat down on the pavement there.
Oh, you're fast forwarding to our dotage now. A few years ago, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I was
Bob has a knack for fast forwarding a lot of places.
Yeah.
The key word is dotage.
Dotage. Yes. Dotage.
I didn't have the spring in my step. I was not a booster of the rooster, and I had worked a lot. I had retired, and then due to circumstances beyond my control, like healthcare and Medicare and all that, I went back to work, and I enjoyed it. They received me like Dolly on 14th Street when she came back, and they were glad to have me.
Hello, Dolly.
Older and slower, and I was walking up the hill one day, 145th Street, sweating on a summer day, my book bag and my groceries or something, and I sat down for a rest. 2 flights of a subway I'm not looking forward to, and I sit down to rest, and it's in front of an apartment house. And a woman in a uniform comes out, concierge, security, I don't know. She says, "Sir, you cannot sit there. Sir, you cannot sit there." I looked at her. I got up slowly, and she said, "I'm going. And as she opened the door to go back in, I felt the cool air conditioning coming out. So I followed her in, and I looked around, and I said, "Okay, if I sit here in one of your lobby chairs?" And she said, "You may sit here if you are seeing someone in the building." And I said, "Madam, Who do you recommend? Yeah. But that's what I mean about civil disobedience too. As seniors, we need to keep saying, hell no, we won't go. You know?
Oh.
Right.
Yes.
We gotta like stand up for that kind of our rights is tired, decrepit, old, slow people.
So the answer to that is yes, I'm seeing someone upstairs. It didn't have to be that day, did it?
That's true.
Yeah. See, you were. You got to think a little bit faster, but yeah.
That was my problem.
Yeah. That's all right.
That's exactly. Hey, you want to do? Well, I'd love to hear another one of your songs. Oh God, what did I do? There we are.
No, you're still there.
All right. I just moved something over here. What's another one of your songs,
we
Jim?
need a duet. Yeah, see, there's what would mess us up is a good duet.
Oh, well. Oh, Bob.
I need to know that I need to.
You're putting them on the spot.
We need to get paid for that.
All right.
It's a union thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I'll do this one. I just don't want to go up with the lines, but I was in. It was on Columbus Avenue, 89th Street, on my bicycle. I love to ride down Riverside Park, get some exercise, stop in a bar, and try to get back home again. But I had gone into that sport clothing place. See, I can't remember what it is, to buy a bathing suit or something. I had found something appropriate. And on the way in, there was scaffolding like there is all over New York City. And I wrapped my bike up, locked it to the scaffolding. And when I came out, I was getting it undone. And it was a bus stop. I had no idea. And a bus comes, and I just got out of there in the nick of time. And I'm pissed as hell. And I'm riding my bike up home to Riverside Park, and it inclines a bit. And I'm working it out. And I came up with this. Don't tie your bike up by the bus, Mr. Quinn. Don't tie your bike up by the bus. Should the number 3 to Chelsea pass, you'll feel its fender in your ass. Don't tie the bike up by the bus. Don't tie your bike up by the bus, Mr. Quinn. Don't tie your bike up by the bus. Tie it to a parking meter. Give it to a Walmart greeter. Take the wheels off and carry it. Dig a big hole and bury it. But please, Mr. Quinn, on my knees, Mr. Quinn, don't tie your bike up by the bus.
A wonderful lyricist. There we go. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Yeah, the only song I've often sung this on my show, Jim. I wrote a song. It was Lucille with diarrhea. I'm tall and tan and young and lovely. The girl with diarrhea goes running, and when she passes each one she passes, boom, boom. She went to De Janeiro for sunning. She came back home, and now she's running each time that Mother Nature is calling, boom, boom. Oh, funny thing sure did happen. She reminisces while crapping. 'Twas the fun, 'twas the sun, 'twas the drinking, and that's why her bathroom is stinking. To a tall and tan and young and lovely Lucille with diarrhea goes running. Da 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 da. But I gotta go. See you after my flow. I gotta go. That's my song.
I used to like it too.
I'm so sorry I started this.
Hey, I have a classic for you. This is a Bob Plass classic. This clip's over 5 years old.
Tell you what I want. I'm going to see if I can do it slowly. Tell you what I want. What I really, really want. Tell you what I want. What I really, really, what I want is this song to end.
He just did the
He just did the William Shatner version. We had a show called Making the List. We still have it. Ken still one of our hosts. Ken.
You got to go on this show. We have to have Jim on this.
I think that would be a good idea.
So the topic was the winner of the previous show gets to pick the next topic, and Jim Keedy I think picked the topic. It was songs Bob Plass will hate. And the song that he was referring to as grading the song was the Spice Girls "Wannabe." And so Bob got the only 0 ever to be given on the show because he brought in Ave Maria. You brought in Ave Maria, and it was a song you love, so we had to give you a 0 because it didn't fit the topic.
Yeah.
The Gounod Ave Maria?
Yes. Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Man,
No, it just didn't fit the topic, so we all had to give him a 0. It was unanimous.
Yeah, because he liked it. Yeah,
right.
The songs that Bob's like. See, the other thing that Bob does, and we haven't figured out why yet, but he likes during every break, he always goes way out of his way to pick a song and has a story behind the song to lead up to it. And then what he'll do is he'll tell the story and then sing the song before we get to the song.
Yeah.
So what's the point of playing the song if you've already sang the song, albeit badly, but you sing the song, you know.
My only comment to that is there's FaceTime and there's hogging all the FaceTime.
You do know Bob. Okay, yeah.
And we also figured that we also got to tell you, do you know Bob's superpower?
No, which one? No.
What is this?
If you stare into Bob's eyes, you'll volunteer for something.
Yes, don't look at Bob for too long.
Yeah, don't stare into Bob's eyes. You're going to volunteer for something.
Yeah, we're going to have people calling the station now. So
That's good, Bob. But may I say that Bob has always been loving and giving.
Oh, yeah.
Child that's born on Thanksgiving. I don't know.
That's never in dispute. It's just you always get volunteer for something. If you look, he gave that superpower to Harry Rock for our 350th city anniversary.
Wow.
And Harry had the superpower for a year.
Yes.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's exactly right. And in fact, JPEG Luca, I looked in his eyes, and the reason why he's sitting next to me here.
6 years ago, he goes, "Hey, what are you doing Tuesday?" I go, and I've been here every Tuesday since.
6 years later. Hey, look, we usually, the time, we've got only 7 minutes left.
Hey, Bob, are you staying for therapy today? Kenny needs you badly. Kenny needs you for therapy today. He has it on his rundown, and he missed you last week that you went away.
Oh, all right.
You need to stay.
Jim,
Jim could stay too.
Kenny Skomsky's show is following me, and so being a licensed therapist, or I gave up my license, and everybody knows why after they see how I give therapy on the show. but I
before they get you.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that'll be $50. 75 for you. At any rate, so I do therapy with Ken usually, and he comes in with a problem, and I try to solve that problem, and it usually involves something strange or whatever. At any rate, but so he wants me to stay on for that. Okay.
Yes.
Jim, I don't know whether we'd have to ask him whether you'd want to stay on or not. It would only be for a few minutes because I have to get to Kelly and Regis.
Bob, thank you. It's really been a pleasure meeting the guys.
Yes, nice to meet you too, Jim.
I'd love to see you again, despite whatever your audience may call in and say. But no, I've got to go and watch the house dry, the paint dry.
I can give you some tips on that. Now, Jim, before we go, though, look, I want to ask you if you have any recommendations for anyone in terms of books, or the next time you're on, we're going to talk about cocktails. Jim made this for me, actually. See this bottle here? Mm-hmm. This is homemade. What is this?
Moonshine?
From a still or something. What is it?
Well, how do I know what it is, Bob? Taste it.
Well, you brought it to my home, and it was a beautiful bottle. I think it's gin.
Oh, probably gin that we steeped in, anything from lavender to Earl Grey tea to ganja.
I was going to say, isn't gin a clear liquid?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's in there.
Put chocolate nibs in it and put it in your Negroni. That might taste it, Bob. Can you do this on the air?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I can drink on the air.
Yeah, but a couple of,
it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Oh, just jug.
What do you taste? Bloop, bloop, bloop.
I think it's tea.
Okay, tea.
Could it be tea?
It's iced tea.
I think it's iced tea. This would be great. Well, so the next time
Bob will be loaded later on.
Yeah, I want to see him in about a half hour.
All right, I'll bring it in sometime.
No, you won't. It's a school. You
No.
can't bring it in, Bob. This is a school.
Well, we haven't identified it as alcoholic yet.
Okay, so Jim, I'd like you to recommend something for a book, a movie, a TV thing. You got any recommendations for us?
Well, to keep with the theme of what we've been talking about, a little bit of showbiz and a little bit of singing, we've been bringing in this thing from Canada called, help me here, it's Slings and Arrows. And it's a not-for-profit theater. It's a series, and it's 3 seasons so far, and they each involve the production. It's hysterically funny. It's a community. It takes place in Ontario or somewhere, but it's backstage. All of the stuff that is going on backstage.
This is a TV thing?
It's a TV thing. You get it from
is it Netflix?
Acorn. You stream it through Acorn.
Okay. All right.
And it's called Slings and Arrows. And there are 2 codgers that start off everyone. They're always in bars before the rehearsal, after the rehearsal. And there's inappropriate sex and there's drama.
I'm in.
Fun. But these codgers are at the bar and they remind me a little of you and me. And they sing. They bring in the show with songs. Not call my understudy. I'll not go on tonight. I'm drinking with my buddy and I'm getting very tight. By intermission, I'll be peeing on a Sprite. Call my understudy. I won't go on tonight. And then it gets dramatic and stuff like that. But
it's called Slings and Arrows.
Slings and Arrows. They did 3 seasons of it, maybe 7 or 8 episodes a season with some wonderful Canadian actors and some younger people that younger people and I would know from the U.S.
Wonderful. Well, I can't. Hey, Jim, I can't tell you how wonderful it is to have you here. And you must come back, right? Don't you think, Jay?
I think so too.
We go
Jim,
through a lot of guests.
Well, yeah, we were on the break. We were talking about replacing you with him, Bob. But
I am at liberty.
I don't know if that equity thing is going to get us in the way, but we'll
I saw
work on
all
that.
about Eve. I'm all set. I'm all set. Betty Davis and who was that other one? A woman? I don't remember. Ann Sheridan.
Yeah, and Baxter.
And Baxter. Yeah. Hey, Michael, come. Why don't you get in the screen here so you can so everybody can know who your producer is, Jim?
No, I don't do on camera.
He doesn't do on camera.
Oh, he doesn't do on camera.
He just advises from the wing.
He's the announcer voice off screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the Witness Protection Program.
It's Carlton, your doorman. That's what it is.
Exactly. Carlton, your doorman.
Amen.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Jim. So I really want to thank you.
Come back again. Could we have that once more with feeling, Bob? I didn't like that line.
I want you back again. Sign on the dotted line.
All right.
So I'm going to play. This is Jim's song that it always reminds me of Jim. This is a wonderful song. God. Yeah. Only I'm going to have Barry Manilow sing it. Yeah, I know. But the interesting thing about this, Jay, is that Barry Manilow doesn't sound like Barry Manilow until little toward the end when he tries to do Barbara Cook or somebody. This is a song that Jim once played at his funeral, and I'm planning on singing it if I'm still around. This is Barry Manilow's Some Other Time from...
it's wonderful, yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful... This is from his Night Songs album, which is actually a really wonderful album. And I found that this song is basically best sung with just piano accompaniment, other than anything else or whatever. Leonard Bernstein, Some Other Time from On the Town. Jim Quinn, Michael, thank you for being there. And hey, everybody, today is Giving Tuesday. You got to give to some organization that is working for our coronavirus crisis. And for me, it's the Community Foundation of Western Massachusetts. It's also Feeding America, and also ASAP, which is Artists Struggling Against Poverty. And I love those 3 organizations. So pick one, and there we go. Hey, everybody, get out there and volunteer. Consider volunteering. Put more now and during this time, consider wearing your mask and donating. See you next time.
Where has the time all gone to? Haven't done half the things we want to. Oh well, we'll catch up some other time. This day was just a token. Too many words are still unspoken. Oh well, we'll catch up some other time. Just when the fun is starting, comes the time for parting. But let's be glad for what we've had and what's to come. There's so much more embracing still to be done, but time is racing. Oh well, we'll catch up some other time. Just when the fun is starting, comes the time for parting. But let's be glad for what we've had and what's to come. There's so much more embracing still to be done, but time is racing. Oh well, we'll catch up some other time. Some other time.